Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Hey singers, today we're going to talk about nasality. What exactly is it in singing and speech, and what causes that type of sound? And what can we do to change or fix it if we don't really want it? Are you ready? Let's go! Before we jump in, my name is Whitney Nichole, and I am a singer-songwriter, vocal coach, studio owner, and creator of the Singing Straw, which is a rad tool that helps singers around the world develop healthier, stronger, and more balanced voices. So if that sounds like something you're into, make sure that you've subscribed because we put out videos every week on just that. Okay, so what is nasality? Well, technically speaking, it's when we have a significant amount of air flowing through the nose or nasal cavity as we're making sound. So to help visualize this, I like to think about it as a spectrum. So we can create sound that has absolutely no air coming through the nose on this side of the spectrum, and then we can create sound with 100% or all of our airflow coming out the nose. Say that's on our other side of the spectrum. How do we control this? With the soft palate. Now the soft palate is that soft tissue on the roof of your mouth behind the hard palate. And if you don't know what I mean by that, the hard palate is the tough, hard part of your roof of your mouth right behind your front teeth. So the soft palate is right behind that. And it can lift and lower, affecting the tone and timbre of your sound. More importantly, it affects where the airflow is going. Is it directing that airflow up and through the nose or actually down and through the mouth? Now, when the soft palate is lowered all the way down to the back of our tongue, all the airflow is blocked through the mouth and then ends up going through the nose. On the other hand, if we lift the soft palate in the back of the mouth, then we actually have more room for the airflow to come through the mouth, and it blocks off the nasal cavity so air is not going through the nose. So let's play around with creating sound on each side of the spectrum. First up, let's try a sound where all the airflow is coming through the nose. All we have to do is say, NG, right? Okay, as in the word hung, right? So say the word hung and then hang on to that last consonant combination, hung. Now, do you feel what's happening in your mouth? Do you notice, that the soft palate is lowering, and the back of your tongue lifts up, and then those two things connect. That connection blocks the airflow from coming through your mouth and sends all the air up and out through the nose. This is 100% a nasal sound. Try it again. Another way to verify this is to pinch your nose. Can you pinch your nose when you're making that sound? What happens? You can't do it. It stops, right? Because the air has to go somewhere. So when I pinch my nose, it stops. The air can't go through my mouth because I've lowered my soft palate, but it also can't go through my nose because I pinched my nose, right? So that kind of helps to tell you how much of the air is going through the nose. Now let's try to feel the other side of the spectrum, okay? No airflow going through the nose, rather all of it coming through the mouth. Now I like to start this example with a yawn, though it's not required. It doesn't have to be a low larynx yawn, but if you could just go for me, right? That kind of helps to lift that soft palate, as well as a variety of other things. And it does set us up for a lot more airflow through the mouth. So we'll go, take that shape and create a sound. Right? Now, if when you pinch your nose, you get more of a sound like this, and you can hear a difference in the sound or a change, that tells you that some of the airflow is going through the nose, so you're not fully on that side of the spectrum that we're going for. So again, try the yawn. Right? So that is that other side of the spectrum. Most singing and speech vowels sit somewhere in between these two extremes on the spectrum. But if people are telling you your voice is sounding too nasal, then you might want to try lifting your soft palate so that more air goes through the mouth. And on the other hand, if your sound is really dark or really dull, you might want to play around with bringing some of that brightness and brilliance of some moderate nasality or nasal airflow by playing around with a slight lowering of the soft palate and a more energized vocal tract. Remember, nasal is not good or bad. It's just part of what we use as singers to adjust and create different tones and timbres in our voice. So where does the singing straw and straw phonation fit in? Well, because of the back pressure that I often talk about, straw phonation is helping to encourage a lift in the soft palate, as well as a lowering and stabilizing of the larynx, and an opening of the pharynx. A lot of fancy ways of just saying a bigger, rounder space that you have to work with. And all of this helps to encourage a more rounder, balanced sound, with a majority of the airflow going through the mouth. So when you're practicing with the singing straw on whatever exercise you prefer, you're automatically helping to set up your vocal tract and help your body remember the feeling of a lifted soft palate without hypernasality or a ton of nasal resonance. And this can be really helpful, if you're living in that Janice from Friends world a little too much. Oh my God! So I hope that helps in terms of your understanding of nasality and how it affects singers and speakers. Now, please let me know how you liked this breakdown, and if you're into these more technical focused videos in the comments below. Or if you want me to stick to the exercises, that's cool too. While you're down there, please also go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you know when our weekly videos drop. Thanks again so much for joining me today, you guys, and I will see you next week.